So last month, Gainax or Gainax West released this panty and stocking teaser with the words "coming soon." They then later said that it wasn't any type of game or pachinko machine, which got many people really excited. Was this the long-awaited panty and stocking season 2? Was this a movie? Well, what they eventually announced was something that no one asked for. And with that announcement, it actually reminded me of the similarities with this other really big, well-known series, not in anime, but still very well-known. It's similarities that I've seen for a very long time, and now I kind of get a chance to talk about it. So on the first episode of Escaping Anime Delusions, I'm going to be talking about how Panty and Stocking is like Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, it's a weird one, but bear with me. So how is Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt a show about two very lewd angels that were kicked out of heaven, similar to one of the most well-known tactical stealth action games for the last decade? Not even going to get into the weird plot of MGS? Is that a fire whale? Seriously though, how are they similar? On the surface level of what they are, they have nothing in common, but if you take a look behind the scenes, there is something there. To find this similarity, we have to take a look at the creator of Panty and Stocking, Hiroyuki Imaishi. Imaishi-san started his career at Gainax in 1995, working on a bunch of series with different roles, like Neon Genesis Evangelion, where he was a key animator, Fooly Cooly, where he did many different things, and a bunch more, until he had his directorial debut for a series with Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann in 2007. He then later went on to direct Panty and Stocking, which was the last thing he worked on at Gainax, because after that he left to form a new studio, Studio Trigger. Gainax was well known for making original in-house made animes. Imaishi conceived two of Gainax's most well-known series, and this is the most important part: original series. So time for a bit of a lesson on anime and manga. Anime, they're usually based on pre-existing source material, usually manga, light novels, and from time to time games. Animes are just giant commercials to expose a new audience of people to a series. The people who own the series, let's just say the creator to keep it simple, they decide to go contract a studio to make an adaptation based on their work. The studio makes the anime and that's that. Even though the studio produced the anime, they technically don't own the series. It's owned by the creator. The creator can decide what to do with the series, so hypothetically they can give the okay to make another season. For the new one, they can decide to get a different studio. This doesn't happen too often, but there are many examples of it around. The point I'm trying to make is the creator still had control over their work. But for original series, that's a different story. If it's made in-house, the studio owns the title and license. Even if the actual creator works there, the studio can still decide what to do with a property. So even though Hiroyuki Imaishi and his team who worked on Panty and Stocking left Gainax, Gainax still owns all of it even though Imaishi created it. He works at his new studio, but if he ever wants to do anything with that title again, he can't because he doesn't even own it, even though he created it. This sounds incredibly familiar. A creator who worked at a company for many years, created something from scratch, and now not being able to make more of it because their previous employer owns it. Where have I heard that before? Hideo Kojima. At this point, I think we all know about the entire Konami-Kojima situation, where Konami was being awful to its employees and him.
I want to tell you a little bit about that. Mr. Kojima had every intention of being with us tonight, but unfortunately he was informed by a lawyer representing Konami just recently that he would not be allowed to travel to tonight's awards ceremony to accept any awards.
Eventually leading to him leaving and forming a new studio. He was part of Konami since 1986, where he later took over the project named Metal Gear, eventually leading it to what became a juggernaut of a franchise today. Metal Gear is a series synonymous with his name. You could say that's his baby. He pretty much made it from scratch. The same rules apply though. Since it was a new IP created by him while he was working with Konami, even though he left, Konami still owns all of Metal Gear and they can do whatever they want with it. And we know that well with Metal Gear Survive and pachinko machines. And by no means am I saying that Gainax was as bad as Konami to its employees. I'm not saying that at all. It's just they're so similar. Two guys who both started working at these big companies, later creating huge hit series and both of them leaving to form their own studios. For a long time, I would say that Panty and Stocking was in a Metal Gear situation. It's in this weird limbo. The people who own it haven't done a single thing with it, and that may or may not be a good thing based on the previous example. And Gainax itself hasn't done a single thing noteworthy since their creative talent left. And the people who can make something with it can't because of legal reasons. Hiromi Wakabayashi scriptwriter and storyboarder for the series, has stated that the team had enough material for 6 more seasons of Panty and Stocking. So where does that leave Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt Season 2? Well, Hiroyuki Imaishi is known for creating spiritual successors. Gurren Lagann was a spiritual successor to Fooly Cooly. Panty and Stocking was that to Deadleaves, and even Kill la Kill was a spiritual successor to Gurren Lagann. So if there was ever a chance for more Panty and Stocking, it is a possibility, but it just may be with a different name and a different look. Bye guys, see you in the next video, and thank you for watching.